Greetings Game Watchers, I'm Chris Capel and welcome to the video review for Deus Ex Mankind Divided. To save you skipping to the end of the video, Mankind Divided is a triumph, a great return to the series, and anyone who enjoyed Human Revolution in particular will love it. It's 2029, 2 years after the cataclysmic events of Human Revolution. The incident at the end of the game where augmented people across the world were sent into a murderous rage has deepened humanity's mistrust of the mechanical superhumans in their midst. Adam Jensen has joined TF-29, a branch of Interpol dedicated to stopping augmented terrorists. While doing that job, he is still seeking to expose the Illuminati, the secret organisation seeking world control. The story is actually quite effectively told. You get the big picture and the overall tale, but you also get to see how pretty much every citizen in the places you go to are affected by the events. Things rarely went the way I expected, and I was definitely satisfied by my time with it. Nevertheless, there will definitely be people upset by the main story. The game tells a more personal, slightly less epic tale. There are still lives on the line and a war brewing between the Naturals and the Clanks that Jensen and his allies are trying to avoid, but there are major plot points that Human Revolution introduced that get danced around here. In Mankind Divided, it's just the terror plot with just hints of other elements at play. I say again that I enjoyed the story, but I'm not sure it ends on a satisfying note. The Deus Ex games are first-person cyberpunk RPGs, and their main appeal is about choice. Not just in terms of narrative consequences like The Witcher, Deus Ex gives the player gameplay choices too. If there's an objective, there'll be multiple ways to accomplish it. Always. Mankind Divided is arguably the best yet at doing this. In dangerous encounters, my preference is always for stealth. There's vents, plenty of cover, orgs to turn you invisible or do a thief-like dash, and yet stealth is still challenging. Slightly more open level design and the lack of video gaming nonsense like cones of sight means that if you're in view of an enemy, they'll see you, and all hell could break loose. There are a lot more enemies in every encounter, making confrontations as a stealth-focused Jensen more difficult. Maybe straight combat is your preference. There are a lot of weapons to play with, from pistols and shotguns to secret, hidden, ultra-powerful battle rifles and grenade launchers. Stick some praxis upgrades into your health, armour and weapon aiming, maybe with a few left over for some decent offensive orgs, and it's just as fun as stealth. While neither are the focus of the whole game, both stealth and gunplay encounters play as well as any game dedicated specifically to either. You can choose to play both gameplay styles in pure first person if you want, or use the cover system, and you can play non-lethally with all of them. Hacking is the final pillar of gameplay, and yet like the others it's totally avoidable. It plays much like Human Revolution. There are a load of nodes and you have to capture them in order to reach a green node before you're detected by the system. Nodes take different amounts of time to capture. There are various helpful nodes to capture, and often you have to choose between the easiest path and the one with all the fun stuff. I actually really like the hacking game, but if you don't, shoot the door down instead, or search around for a pocket secretary with a code or password on it. That's Deus Ex. The most important part of the Deus Ex gameplay though is the exploration, the world building and your choices within it. Deus Ex is about giving you a place and saying, right, now play the game how you want, and Mankind Divided manages this well. But first, let me break the bad news. There is only one city hub, compared to previous games in the series which had 2 or 3. Jensen visits Dubai and a few other locations I won't spoil, but they're only levels. Prague is divided into 3 separate areas, including the ghetto-like Golem City, but you'll be spending 90% of your time in Prague. This does rob Mankind Divided of the globe-trotting epic feel of previous games a little, but it ends up a good thing. By concentrating on a single city hub, Eidos Montreal have made one of the most detailed, well-designed, fun, personal and believable locations in gaming. Every street is recognisable, most buildings can be entered, but most importantly, everywhere feels real. Every apartment is unique. The office of TF-29 is amazing, a constant hive of activity with dozens of employees chatting, running around, getting stressed, or commenting that you really shouldn't be in the women's bathroom. Eidos Montreal have really gone to town with the detail, and that's just the surface. The actual design is superb. You never get lost as the layout just makes sense. Eidos Montreal makes sure that experimentation and exploration are rewarded. No matter how crazy or far out or hard to get a place is, there will very probably be a treasure waiting for you at the end of it. Missions are generally superb, with absolutely plenty of side quests to discover, sometimes in the strangest places. There are some truly memorable missions in Mankind Divided, and it's stunning how easy to miss some of the best ones are. It's the choices though that make Mankind Divided great. What org upgrades to get is an agonising choice, as unlike Human Revolution, you will not be able to get all the good ones in one playthrough. There are plenty of storyline and character choices too, and I was pleased to see when my choice had an impact on the world around me. Sometimes you have to choose a whole questline over another, and Eidos Montreal do a great job of making each choice feel weighty and meaningful. In terms of specs, I'm running the game on my AMD FX 6300 6-core processor, 16GB of RAM, Nvidia GTX 960 4GB, and Windows 10 64-bit, and I had most of the settings on high. Graphically, Mankind Divided looks utterly stunning. While character animations are still very animated, locations are gorgeous with incredible amounts of detail. Deus Ex Mankind Divided is an amazing game and a worthy 4th entry in arguably the best video game series of all time. It took me about 30 hours to finish it, and I loved all of it. While Deus Ex fans might be a little disappointed that there's only one city hub, concentrating on Prague has allowed Eidos Montreal to create one of the most detailed, believable and well-designed locations in video games, one that rewards exploration every time. The stealth and combat sides have been buffed and polished, so each are as good as the best games dedicated exclusively to each. The story is a little less epic than I'd hoped, but it makes up for it by feeling a lot more concentrated and personal, and features loads of wonderful side stories. Mankind Divided is a game that gives players full freedom to choose how they like to play, and every choice is both valid and extremely fun. Eidos Montreal have taken Human Revolution and made it even more Deus Ex, and that is a very good thing indeed. Overall, I gave Deus Ex Mankind Divided an amazing Game of the Year candidate score of 9.5. You can check out our epic written review on GameWatcher.com, along with a load of features on the game. Thanks for watching everyone, Chris Capel and GameWatcher signing off.
كنت عارف انه ده كان مين انت